Hello guys, I'm back with some Witchfire, and today I wanted to play a little more with the shotgun and try to get used to sliding a little bit more. Other than the Midas, Echo is probably the only other weapon that I've been avoiding a little bit, and while I recognize that it can be very powerful, I've generally felt that sliding was sort of an inferior option to dodging to dashing, so I've just been avoiding the gun as a result. In this video, I'm going to try to learn the mechanic a little more and see if I can get better use out of the shotty. We are here on Iron Gate Castle, and it's already taking me a little bit of time to sort of plan out in my head the inputs. You can see here I'm deciding between a slide or a dash, and I'm doing a little bit of both, and somehow that group dies pretty fast. Um, in terms of equipment, I have the all-seeing eye with me because the way I see it, I can soften up a group with the first couple of shots, then run in with the slide and finish people off with the shotgun. At least that's the plan in theory. My light spell is the frost cone, or whatever it's called, because as you'll see later, there's tons of enemies with shields at this level in this game, and I want to be able to freeze them up and slide behind them and pop them with those empowered shots before they have a chance to do anything to me. I decide to go with weakened enemies for now. I haven't been able to get much benefit out of the whole strafe speed arcana so far. I'm making my way down to a second group of enemies here. I see the effigy of Scabs, and I shoot the first one down, but as you'll soon see, I completely forget what it actually does, and I waste a bunch of bullets on that one protected assassin. Um, I freeze him, I set up the slide, pop a few shots, he's not taking the damage, then I go, oh, okay, maybe I should kill these effigies first. So I do, I accidentally pop my elixir because, again, I'm kind of fumbling my inputs at this point. It's been a while. Finally, those are down, but now I'm getting chased by these poison orbs. Try to get a bit of distance. The assassin is still alive for now, and the Eye of the Mad Woman takes care of the last bit there. I get hit in the face with more melee swings and poison. One thing about the shotty that I also forgot and got me in trouble a couple of times this run is the fact that it consumes stamina, and so simply using the weapon can deplete your stamina, so you might not have enough to perform a dash or a slide. You can get caught with your pants down as a result. All in all, I paid a price. I think I lost quite a bit of HP here, plus that one elixir that I popped for nothing, so this was not my proudest moment, but we'll recover, as you'll see later on. And here I decided to try killing the warden just with the shotty, and it works pretty well. It works just as well as the hailstorm. I believe it's also 3 shots with that weapon too. Now we go into a bit of a lull. There's this one grenadier shooting in the sky, and I figured I'd take my time with him. What I didn't account for is that he actually lined up his last projectile to land straight on top of me. So I still took some damage, got a bit complacent. We're going to take Deadeye. More critical weapon damage, especially for the all-seeing eye, is lovely. I think it will actually allow us to one-shot minor enemies as opposed to two-shotting them. Yep. And there we go. And I think this is where you'll see the, yep, 105. So I'm pretty sure if I didn't have or hadn't had that Deadeye Arcana, That guy would have taken 2 shots to go down. Something that I've recently learned is apparently your punch is considered a spell. So whatever affects spell recharge also affects your punch coming offline or off cooldown. So you can use your charged up melee far more often if you have good spell recharge arcana or you've leveled witchery, for example. Um, I know there's a bunch of other factors that contribute to things coming off cooldown. Um, oh, there we go. So this is what I was talking about. I can get behind them by freezing them. And again, my spells are coming off cooldown very, very fast. I don't know fully all the factors which contribute to this, but it seems to be recently in my runs, it's been working out really well with spell recharge. I've also been pumping my witchery. I got it to a point where I'm no longer getting any more increments to my spell recharge. I think it capped out at plus 69% or something along those lines, and I noticed that the additional point I was trying to put into witchery was not giving me any more spell cooldown. Maybe it gets to a point with like a soft cap where if you invest, I don't know, 5 points into witchery, you'll get 1 percentage point cooldown reduction. I don't know. Maybe that's the case, but I decided to stop investing in that for the time being and pump a little bit of metanoia, luck, endurance, perhaps. Okay, so here I'm kind of like, okay, I think we're done with the outside of the castle. Just gonna get some ammo, and we're gonna go fight the swordsman. Yes, I know they can be skipped, but I'm trying to test out my build here, so it's always kind of a fun fight. It's just a little horde that you can always farm reliably. They're always here for you. There we go. Iron Cross goes down, which has, in addition to Blight Cyst, become my favorite heavy spell. And I would be rocking Blight Cyst if I didn't feel like the Frostcone would be a more valuable setup tool with the shotty and a bit more instantaneous in its effect. The Blight Cyst, while amazing in many ways, has a bit of a delay before its effects are felt on the battlefield. It's a bit of a wasted shot with the Vulture, but I have plenty of demonic ammo, so I figured why the hell not. And here I'm just sort of kind of, hesitating a bit between my usual instincts of just using all-seeing eye and popping everyone in the face with it, and trying to also pause for a second to think about my inputs with the shotgun, to do the run, do the slide, pop them, move out the way. My muscle memory isn't there yet with this weapon, so everything's a little bit slower, a bit more hesitation, and so on. But it is fun. I gotta say, so far I can see situations where slide is at the very least viable, if not better than dash. Running into cover, quickly popping out of cover, and it is a fun mechanic to get that double damage boost for the shotty during the slide. So why not? It would be interesting to see whether you can cover, whether it's more stamina efficient to sprint and slide than to dash. Let's say on a given distance, how fast can you cover that distance with dashes versus run and slide, and how much stamina it costs you overall. That would be something also interesting to factor into the comparison, which I haven't had the time to do, but I do have a sense that sprinting and sliding might actually be more stamina efficient for a given distance. Because really, you can only do, at least at my current endurance level, I think I can only do maybe 3 or 4 full dashes before I'm out of stamina. Whereas I can sprint and slide for quite a bit before I'm out. of stamina completely. So I have a slight sense that it's running and sliding are more stamina efficient. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know. Here's a little calamity. Get super lucky with the catalyst spawning right in front of me, which is great because I was already in the middle of a group of friends here. Um, and again, whenever I get sort of bum rushed like this, I get a little panicky and start dashing through people with the shadow mist instead of. Maybe that is the right instinct, but I was trying to make more use of the run and slide. So let's see. But this is sort of the situation where you're sort of behind cover, you got a bit of a distance, and then you just quickly run out of cover, slide, and pop a few guys in the face with the shotty. That seems to be the type of situation in which I've been able to use the shotty and Mysterium effectively. Oh, there we go. Perfect. I don't know what hit me here. I think I got pushed into some of the poison plants, or I think eventually his projectile finally left his weapon. That's kind of a funny thing about freezing enemies while they're firing, is that their projectile will sometimes get frozen midair or just as it's leaving um, their weapon. And what I noticed, at least with the galley slave, is that once the enemy gets unfrozen, the projectile will track you no matter what the initial direction was. So if, let's say, the galley slave was firing straight in front of him, you freeze him right that moment. You step to the left, you wait for him to get unfrozen. The projectile will then just magically turn left and hit you in the face anyway, or at least attempt to hit you at your current location. So that's something to be careful about. More effigies. I noticed there's a big sentinel uh, on the map, and I will try to avoid it. I don't feel like it's a very rewarding battle mechanically or in terms of the drops. So I generally try to avoid sentinels. I think they have their place in the sort of the enemy lineup. They mix things up. I don't have a huge problem with them, but generally I try to avoid them most of my runs. I don't really have much patience for them sort of teleporting around, closing up, waiting for the right gap to strike. You see me there getting hit in the face basically because I hesitated between doing something with my weapons and getting ready to dash, and I wasn't ready with the dash when I needed to be, so I got hit in the face. That's one of the things that, or one of the ways in which this game is, the combat of the game does feel very, very much like a Souls game. A lot of your inputs have a sort of very clear opportunity cost, sort of like in a fighting game or a Souls-like game, where if you choose to jump, for example, you can no longer dash, and it may or may not be the right move. Depending on how well you read the situation, jumping may not be the right move. So you can't just jump and then head dash and you dash anyway. You're sort of making trade-offs with every move. If you decide to reload your weapon, you can't cast the spell at the same time, etc., etc. I read somewhere on Discord that one of the developers actually wanted to lock people into the reload animation, so you couldn't cancel and change your mind. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that, but it goes to show, the sort of design philosophy that the developers are following, and which I, generally speaking, really appreciate. And I love the enemy lineup. I love the kind of slow, sort of stagger step rhythm of the combat. It's not exactly Doom or Doom Eternal, where things flow at a very fast pace, although things can get very chaotic, and depending on your setup, a chaotic playstyle can be to your advantage. But it is generally a lot more considered, deliberate, and sort of tactical than let's say, an older school shooter or an arena shooter. Yeah, it is. It is indeed a bit more Souls-like in its rhythm and its pacing and the sort of moment-to-moment decision making that you uh, are pressured with. Huge group of assassins, just sort of derping around, not sure what. To be honest, I'm a little spoiled for options here. I have so many spells. I have demonic ammo. I have all kinds of shit, and that's I find that sometimes the fewer options I have, and this is a personal thing. It's not a criticism of the game design, but I find that especially when I'm new to the mechanics of a game, the fewer options I have, the better I play. And sometimes when I'm given more tools, even if those tools are powerful, I tend to derp my inputs a lot more because I do not yet have like the experience to decide, just quickly read a situation and say, okay, well this weapon is best here, or this combination, so I quickly execute. So there are times when I'll just be like, oh, I don't know, should I use a spell? Should I pop a demonic shot? That's kind of what's been happening in this run as I look back at it as some moments where I feel embarrassment, but that's it's part of the fun. And then there's the Master Sentinel right below me. I'm trying to play hide and seek with it, and again, sort of deciding if it's even worth bothering with. Do I want to like slowly plink away and wait for him to open up? Do I want to drop down? What I end up doing is getting shadow misted down because I'm trying to dash backwards, I think. Yep. And then I think I acquire something as a target and I dash through that enemy and I end up on the ground. And that's something that, it's been brought up before by other players as an issue with the Shadow Mist Ring, that it can make your movements unreliable if, just like you see there, it acquires an enemy, and then no matter what directional input you press together with dash, you will just dash through the enemy that you've locked onto. And it can get you in trouble, like you saw me sort of falling straight under the Master Sentinel when I didn't really mean to. I swear. I swear I did not mean to do that. Okay. And here I've decided, what, screw this Sentinel crap. I'm gonna make a. I was looking to see if there's maybe more ammo on the map. Do I want to farm some of the smaller mobs to maybe get better Arcana? And I said, you know what, I think I'm very strong right now, and I'd like to challenge the boss with the current set of Arcana and gear. See how it goes. hmm I love the environments. The astronauts have always been very good at beautiful level design. It's just breathtaking, really, and it does the aesthetic of their levels is part of the reason many people are asking for more lore, because it just so enchanting. It makes you think there's got to be more to these. There's a story that these places want to tell. And so anyway, here we are with the galley slave. Turns out we have yet another busted combination. Um, Not only is our freeze coming off cooldown um, faster than he can, recover, but I don't know if you guys recall, we have this sort of plan B safety net of Rime Frost or Rime Shield or whatever the hell it's called. Basically means every time we cast a frost spell, we take 30% less sorry, we take 70% reduced damage. Um, Not that it matters, because he barely has a chance to hit us. Um, but yeah, yeah. And I'm kind of fumbling my inputs here and like, oh, should I reload? Should I refrost? What should I slide? Does it fucking matter? No, it doesn't matter because he's dead. Um, and this is a nice little bug. Um, yeah, cool. But as you can see, we got some really good Arcana here. And this was the setup. So yeah, I think I'm going to keep trying the shotty. There's nothing much else for me to do until the GGU update anyway, so I'll just keep playing with the shotty.